My name is John Ripple, and I am an Akron Canton SCORE volunteer and presenter for today's webinar. This webinar is being hosted by the Akron Canton SCORE. So I need to do a little bit of promo on SCORE. So what is SCORE? For those that are not aware, SCORE is a nonprofit that has been around since 1964. SCORE has the largest network of volunteers with a variety of business skills and experiences that are shared by clients at free of charge. So no matter whether you are starting a business, growing your business, or transitioning your business, SCORE will have a mentor that can help you through the process. So it has been reported that clients that receive 3+ hours of mentoring report higher revenues as well as increased growth. SCORE's mission is to help small businesses survive through mentoring as well as education. That's why we're having this webinar today. We aim to provide each client with the skills and support they need to succeed within their small business. Small businesses are the economic engine. They build the wealth and they also create the jobs. SCORE understands that small businesses are critical to the success of communities as well as the economy. SCORE does have over 10,000 volunteers across the United States with over 200 SCORE chapters. SCORE offers counseling to both for-profit as well as non-profit businesses. So SCORE volunteers and mentors must follow a code of ethics, including not making money from clients, not using clients' data for commercial purposes, and mentoring sessions are strictly confidential. SCORE is a resource partner with the Small Business Administration, often referred to as SBA. And with help and support from the SBA and our sponsors, SCORE is able to provide free counseling to clients and help educate through the webinars and workshops. This slide shows sponsors to the Akron Canton SCORE chapter. We have platinum level sponsors that include the Hoover Foundation, the Stark Community Foundation, Stark State College, Akron Community Foundation, and Key Bank. We have gold sponsors that include Huntington, the Kenneth L. Calhoun Charitable Trust, and we have silver sponsors that include People's Bank, the Walty Family Foundation, and the Gertrude F. Orr Donor Advisory Fund. And we have brown sponsors that includes the Lehner Family Foundation, the James S. and Patrick L. Ripple Charitable Trust, the Consumer National Bank, the R.C. Munson and Catherine M. Munson Charitable Fund. So all these sponsors are greatly appreciated. So feel free to reach out to your local SCORE chapter, or you can scan the QR code once you receive a copy of the PowerPoint. If you need any help in any business challenges, or if you'd like to become a volunteer within SCORE, we'd appreciate that as well. So a couple housekeeping items before we get started. If you do have questions during the webinar, there is a Q&A tab at the bottom of your screen. We appreciate if you put your questions in the Q&A, and we'll attempt to answer those questions throughout the webinar. So this webinar is being recorded and will be posted on the akroncantonscore.org website. You'll be provided with a link to this recording in case you would like to view it at a later time. You will also then receive a copy of the PowerPoint presentation. So also at the end of the webinar, you'll receive a questionnaire, and we appreciate you taking just a few moments to complete the questionnaire. So with that, let's get started. And I would like to tell you a little bit about myself, my background. I had the opportunity to work for a relatively large company headquartered in Canton, Ohio, called the Timken Company. I had the opportunity to work with them for approximately 38 years. I managed the Bucyrus Distribution Center for a large portion of my tenure. I had several hundred people under my responsibility. We were a 24-hour-a-day operation, 7 day a week. And while I was there, the actual, even though it was under the big umbrella of the Timken Company, the Bucyrus Distribution Center is actually managed as if it were small business. So I actually had to create a business plan each year. The business plan really supported the corporate business plan, but also was responsible for the operations of the distribution center itself. So I actually used and referenced the business plan quite frequently. She kept it in the top drawer of my desk. And on a quarterly basis, I actually reviewed the business plan with all the associates around the shifts, because the business plan is really a team project. And if we as a team did not accomplish the business plan, then the potential survival of the operations was in jeopardy. So we even had our own vision statement and mission statement for our operations. So let's talk about the agenda for today. So I'm going to start out by talking about what is a business plan. We're going to look at the elephant in the room, that's AI, and how AI can be used to help you in the creation of the business plan. We're going to look at the goods and the bad associated with the AI. We're going to look at who should have a business plan. We're going to look at the benefits of the business plan. We're going to look at the key elements of a business plan. We're going to look at measuring the results in a business plan. Then we'll have a brief summary. So I'm hoping that by the end of the webinar, you'll be able to really embrace the business plan as your friend, because a lot of people are actually afraid of a business plan and what it stands for. But the business plan should be your friend, and hopefully it will help guide you as well as your employees and your business down a path to success and growth. So with that, let's look at what is a business plan. So a business plan is truly a document that details certain aspects, and some of those deal with how and why you will run your business. It also should include things like how you will promote and market your products and or services that you're going to provide. Also looks at how you plan to fund your business. Where's the capital coming from? It looks at who are your customers. It also looks at the business plan will literally lay out a written plan from a marketing, from a financial, and from an operational viewpoint. So the important thing within the business plan is that a lot of people have thoughts within their mind on the business and what they want to achieve. The business plan really takes those thoughts that you have in your mind and documents it on paper so you can go down the correct path for success. So why write a business plan? Well, the business plan provides a view of the market conditions. It also identifies your business opportunities, looks at your strengths and weaknesses. It recognizes obstacles to growth, what's standing in the way of you being able to grow your business. It creates your marketing and operations approach. It plans for all the elements of creating a successful business. And also then the requirement for seeking financing. So it really helps to organize your thoughts by, again, documenting your thoughts on paper. And probably one of the most important things, especially if you are a startup business, it will help you to be able to make the go or no-go decision before you spend too much capital. So the business plan structure will take you through the business parameters within the 2 to 3 years out in the future. And if you're a startup and it looks like the modeling doesn't show that you're going to make enough revenue to support all the expenses, that's the time to say, let's step back and either change direction or don't do the business at all. So again, let's next look at the AI. Let's look at the challenges that are associated with AI first. So AI in general is going to be it is a fantastic tool, but we must keep in mind that most of the AI information comes from past history. So it truly lacks the depth of market insight. It doesn't have real-time access to the private market data or even insider industry knowledge. It may give you outdated trends or generic competitors lists, which definitely can be a disadvantage. So the solution to this is you combine AI with your own research or updated data sources. This is where you, as a human, comes into play. You can use AI as a tool, but you are in control of it. AI is generally generic and or vague in its output. AI tends to give, I call, safe or generalized answers unless you can provide specific prompts within within AI. So instead of tailoring your marketing plan as an example, it might suggest use social media. That's pretty generic. But you can add additional prompts to give more details, like audience, the budget, or even talk about or input your niche. So also then a challenge is within AI is missing local and or legal requirements. So AI really doesn't know the local laws unless you feed that information in there. So it doesn't know licensing requirements, compliance regulations, etc., unless you tell it. So AI might miss zoning laws as an example, or tax rules that are specific to your given state or your county. So a solution to this would be you can consult your local expert in terms of, you might solicit information from a lawyer, from a CPA, or other people that you're familiar with that can help you with the legal parts of your plan. It could also, as a negative, create the false confidence in financials. AI can literally create a nice looking financial projections, but they're only estimates based on assumptions, not real data. So as an example, it may give you suggested revenues, might be unrealistic for the market in which you're trying to penetrate. So how you get around that is that you base the financials on real cost, real customer data, and or industry benchmarks. So another area that AI has a challenge is the lack of strategic depth. AI can structure and write, but it doesn't play strategic thinking or experience. So it might suggest standard pricing models and it'd be missing your unique value propositions. So in other words, you need to be involved with the information that is providing. Add more specific information to the prompt so it can give you more accurate information back. You can become over reliant on AI. There is absolutely a risk of creating a business plan that sounds polished and looks great, but it lacks the originality and understanding. And most people that are reading business plans from a lending institution, as an example, can tell if a business plan is developed by a robot or AI. So you want to avoid that and make it your own. So it can be it could be limited the ability to predict feasibility. AI can generate projections, but it lacks firsthand experience. So making it unreliable for testing the real world feasibility of assumptions. And so while AI can be a helpful tool for research and structuring, AI should be used as a complement rather than a replacement for your own analysis, your creativity, your expertise, as well as your knowledge. Okay, so now we got the challenges with AI. Let's take a look at some of the benefits of AI. Now, one of the benefits is speed and efficiency. No, there's no question that the computer can be fast. So AI can literally generate entire sections of a business plan within minutes. This in turn saves hours of research, writing, and formatting if you try to do it yourself. So as an example, you can create a full outline, the executive summary, and the marketing analysis within one setting using AI. The second thing is that it's very cost effective. Hiring a consultant to help you and or writers can cost literally thousands of dollars. AI offers a low cost and or possibly free alternative for startups that are on a budget. As an example, the free version of ChatGPT actually is pretty good on creating a business plan. And with it being free, it can really help save you time as well as money. So it can AI also the benefit is the structural guidance. AI follows proven business plan formats. It's got a lot of history that's been built into the AI on the development of business plans. So it literally puts the best format forward. As a result, it doesn't miss any specific sections within a business plan. So it's a great tool in that respect. So it can literally help beginners who really don't know anything about writing a business plan. You'll make sure that the structure is in place. As an example, AI will guide you through the process of making sure you think about things like the SWOT analysis, and we'll talk about that a little bit later. It'll look at remind you of the revenue models that are required. It'll remind you of the target market data that's necessary as well. Another positive is a brainstorming partner, if you can believe that. It can help you with your brainstorming ideas for your business. It can generate creative ideas such as products, the marketing, the pricing of your products and service, and so on. It can literally show you the difference between business models or strategies you haven't even considered. The important thing is feeding the data in the prompts to make it as specific as possible. So the more details you can provide AI, the better the results you get coming back. Also looks at the tailored content. With the right prompts, AI can write industrial specific and or audience targeted plans. You can adjust your tone, and that's what's really kind of amazing about AI. You can go into prompts and say, write my business plan in a form that is considered professional, or you can have it write in the form of persuasiveness, or you can have it write it in the form of investor ready format. And all that literally can be done within seconds. So it saves you a lot of time and effort. So as an example, you can tell it, rewrite this plan for a pitch to investors who care about sustainability. And it will do it. And it's very effective at doing that. The next area where it comes into where it's beneficial is the financial estimators. It's made much easier. AI can literally help you create basic forecast, cost breakdowns, and profit projections. It can explain financial concepts clearly to non-finance people. So you don't necessarily have to be a CPA in order to write a business plan, the financials of a business plan. As an example, you can tell it to estimate year one cash flow for, I'll say as an example, a coffee shop that seats 30 people, and you estimate $4 per person on an average sale. You provide the number of people that you estimate to be coming in that door, and it can literally create revenue flow and a break-even point for you. Another area is repetitive editing. AI can quickly revise content. It can shorten it. It can expand it. It can reword things. It can help you clarify certain sections. All you need to do is prompt it to do that. So it literally makes it easier for you to update your business plan as your business evolves. You don't have to start over. So as an example, you can make this marketing plan more focused on the Gen Z consumers, and it will do that. Another area is accessibility. You don't need to be a business expert or a great writer. AI can literally help you in that area by making it accessible to founders, to partners, to students, whomever. And it can literally hold your hand through the process. So literally anyone can build a pitch-ready draft, even without any type of business degree, by using AI. So it's good as a learning tool as well. So you're writing your business plan with AI, it may help you understand your business even better. It says you'll learn as you go about the market, about the business model, and what investors care about. So it can actually help you explain the break-even analysis by just prompting it, and it will literally explain that process to you. So it will help you even though you're not an accounting expert. So with that, there are platforms out there that support AI, and these platforms basically are systems that either have software or hardware or a combination of both. They provide the tools, the infrastructure, and the environment needed to develop and to deploy and to run the artificial intelligence applications. So some of the platforms that are out there, some of you may be aware of, they have the Google as Gemini, the Microsoft Copilot, the IBM Watson, Facebook Meta. They have ChatGPT, which is a very common one, Perplexity, and they have the Adobe Sensei. Some of these are free of charge. ChatGPT, as an example, it has a free version, but they also have a paid version that can even go into more in depth when you're trying to write a business plan. Okay, so enough of that. So let's look at that. Who should actually have a business plan? And it really gets down to anybody that is starting a business for profit or even a nonprofit business should have a business plan. And again, it forces you to think of the aspects of your business, why you're doing what you're doing, why you want to create this service and or product. It will help you to highlight the problems associated with starting up a business. It will help you explain your concept to investors and or people that want to invest in your business as a whole. And it helps to prepare you for meeting with clients, with investors, and other interested parties. Also, then, those businesses that have been established for a while, whether you are a profit or nonprofit business, should have a business plan. As I stated at the outset, I wrote a business plan every year for my operations in the distribution center. And the Timken Company has been in business for over 100 years. So for an established company, it literally helps you with the roadmap for growth and continued success within the business. It focuses owners and associates on activities. That's why I felt it was important that every quarter I update the business plan with all associates to make sure we were on the same page. And provides future vision for of the business, and it also then provides metrics for success, KPIs, as an example, key performance indicators. So where do we start then when in developing a business plan? Well, within a business, whether you're for profit or whether you are nonprofit, you basically have I call 4 different buckets and or issues within a business. You have a financial bucket, you have a human resource bucket, you have products and service, you have marketing. So if you're starting out, one of the things that you should do is really do a personal assessment. You should look within yourself in each one of these buckets and identify where you are strong and have strengths, where you feel that you're weak, where there are opportunities, and where there are threats within those buckets. And that's what is commonly referred to as the SWOT analysis. So you look at the strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats. So you can identify those areas where you personally are strong, and also then identify those areas where you need help. And don't hesitate to get the help. You as a business owner have to wear many hats, you're not necessarily an expert on each one of those categories. So reach out and get the help that you feel that you need. So let's take a look at the benefits of the business plan. So it helps you stay focused, and by having the defined strategies, it can help you when the business model changes. And we all can remember just a few years ago now where we were hit by COVID-19. And I guarantee you, every business plan in the world had to change as a result of that disease. So those that were not flexible at the time and were able to change and shift gears, they didn't survive. And more than likely, it was a result of them not having a sound business plan in place or a contingency plan associated with the business plan. So also, it could give you an advantage over your competitors. So one of the challenges that we all have within the business world is staying ahead of your competition. So understanding your competition and having a business plan that will drive you down that path of success will definitely help you stay ahead. So now let's look at 5 specific benefits. So, well, the first benefit of the business plan, it delivers your marketing approach. It will define your target audience. It defines your unique selling point and your niche that allows you to stand out from your competitors, as well as it helps to define tactics that will best reach potential clients and or customers. So number 2, it helps manage your growth, whether up or down. As your business evolves, things change. The environment around us changes. The economy goes up and down. Hopefully we don't have another global disease, but you have to be prepared for that. So your budgets may change on a yearly basis based on revenue, based on potential growth, the number of employees, your financials, your products and services you decide to offer. So the business plan will help you manage all that through the growth process, up or down. Number 3, it identifies and monitors your objectives. And the objectives is basically looking at how much and by when. And we'll go in a little more detail of that in a little bit. But it looks at setting and following through on goals. And the goals is an integral part of the success of your business. Your business plan lets you decide and keep track of where you are now and where you want to be in X number of months and or years into the future. So it's a way of keeping track. It's a cycle of business planning, keeps you on target through regular meetings and updates with all your employees. Number 4, it aids in obtaining funding. So potential investors will have obviously a variety of questions about your potential or existing business. You know, a complete business plan not only provides investors with answers, but shows that you are organized and have considered all the marketing, the legal, the financial, and human resources, and other aspects of running your business. Literally, a thorough business plan will increase your chances to obtain capital and or bank loans. Lastly, then number five, it manages organizational and employee requirements. As an example, it helps to determine who within your organization is filling which roles. It looks at whether you should or could benefit from more or less staff, and how you would go about recruiting new employees, depending on your growth needs. So let's take a look at the key elements of a business plan. This is where we're getting into the meat of it now. The basic business plan is made up of 7 or 8 sections, and typically a business plan is made up of an executive summary. It's also then in the body of the business plan will have a general company description, which will include a vision statement, a mission statement. It also includes goals and objectives. It looks at the market environment, your products and or services. It looks at the industry and the competitive analysis that you put into your business. It includes the market research. What have you done to research the market? Then you include a marketing plan. So you've done the research, then you have the plan for the marketing strategy and the marketing mix. And we'll talk a little bit about the marketing mix in the future. The business plan will include an operational plan, which will include the location, the layout of the business, and even the management. And finally, it includes the financial plan, which is probably one of the most critical ones. It looks at the investment, the projected financial statements, which includes an income statement, a balance sheet, cash flow, as well as break even. And then there's generally a follow-up with appendices, which basically is supporting data that supports all the other categories that are listed above. So a little pitch for SCORE. SCORE does have templates that are available. We can go out to score.org, and you will see templates that are out there for both for-profit as well as nonprofit. There's also different websites out there that have business plans that are already written for you. You can use as ideas. One of the websites is www.bplans.com, which I often refer to. So next, I would like just talk a moment about nonprofits, then we'll get back to the business plan, because as we mentioned earlier, that it's very important for nonprofits to have a business plan. So it doesn't matter whether you are for-profit or nonprofit, is important to have. But there are a few little differences within a nonprofits. So it's important to understand that nonprofits cannot have any loans. They have no investors. The funds are literally raised through grants, donations, and fundraising. The nonprofits must show a realistic fundraising plan. And more importantly, and the most important thing is that the earnings cannot be distributed because there's literally no owners within a nonprofit. A nonprofit should have a board, or commonly referred to as a board of trustees, and that board then selects the chief executive or the person that's actually going to run the nonprofit. So if at the time that you write your business plan, if you're just starting out, if you know the board members, you should include those within the business plan. Again, score.org. It does have templates for nonprofits, so you can feel free to take advantage of that. So now let's get back to the business plan as a whole. So I mentioned that the first part of the business plan is the executive summary. Now it's important to understand that the executive summary is the absolute last thing that you write within the business plan, because the executive summary means exactly what it says. It is a summary of the body of the business plan. And the business plan really should be no more than 3/4 to a page and a half. If it gets longer than a page and a half, more than likely it will be thrown in the trash can. It's just too much. People lose interest quickly. So generally within the executive summary, the first paragraph will introduce the business concept. It will look at guiding principles. It will include your vision as well as your mission for your business. It will include company goals as well. The second paragraph would discuss the target market and what is your niche within that market. It will explain briefly why you will succeed. And the third paragraph will include plan sources for capital and the repayment plan. So where's the money coming from to start up your business, and how do you plan on repaying that? And the fourth paragraph then should literally introduce the management team. And that's it. That's the executive summary. So now let's start to look into the body of the business plan. And the first category deals with the general company description. And a lot of people kind of freak out when you hear the words vision and mission statements. They really don't know what they mean or understand what purpose they have. And over my years within the business, I've come to realize it's really quite simple. And the vision statement, if you just remember this concept, the vision is where you see your business in the future. And the future is 2 to 3 years from now. And the mission statement is a description of how you will achieve your vision. So the vision is looking out where you expect to be 2 to 3 years. The mission is how you're going to get there. And they're generally very short sentences, nothing very long. And I got a couple examples that I think we can all relate to. I think all of us are familiar with a company called Amazon. So Amazon's vision, it's kind of interesting, says that our vision is to be Earth's most customer-centric company, where customer can find and discover anything they might want to buy online at the lowest possible price. Interesting vision, isn't it? Now, their mission of how they're going to achieve that is that we strive to offer our customers the lowest possible prices, the best available selection, and the utmost convenience. Simple, very precise vision as well as mission statement. Nike, I think we're all familiar with Nike. Nike's vision is to bring inspiration and innovation to every athlete in the world. That's it. That's their vision. Their mission is to do everything possible to expand human potential. We do that by creating groundbreaking sport innovations, by making our products more sustainable, by building a creative and diverse global team, and by making a positive impact in communities where we live and work. Very cool. So again, visions and missions, don't be afraid of it. make it your own. Where you plan to be in 2-3 years is your vision, and how you're going to get there is the mission. The next thing to include is the guiding principles, and that's really pertains to you and your company. You look at your moral values that establish the framework of your company, the expected behavior, as well as the decision-making process. So you also then want to look at the company goals and objectives. And the goals and objectives should include what we call SMART analysis. And that's an acronym that means that the goals and objectives should be specific in nature. They should be measurable. They should be achievable. They should be realistic, and they should be timely. So that's where the acronym SMART comes from. Specific, measurable.
John?
Yes.
Excuse me. I just wanted to ask if one of our attendees has asked that you display the nonprofit slide, and they asked that you display it quickly.
That one?
Okay. Thank you.
You're welcome. So getting back to the SMART goals, then just the refresher where I indicated that SMART means specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, or timely. So if you can't satisfy those criteria, then you need to rethink the goals and or objectives. So the goals literally are specific with a significantly greater chance of being accomplished. To make a goal specific, I would generally look at the 5 W's that have been around for decades, and that is the look at the who, what, where, when, and why. So when you're creating your goals, you look at the who, what, where, when, and why. They get you to be very specific. So I'm going to actually throw in a little bonus slide. I use this next slide, the steps associated with this throughout my business career. And it really helps when you're developing the business plan and or solving any type of problem within your business. And the first level is within setting goals and or identifying a problem, that they all refer to a pillar within the company or a strategic theme. So the pillars within the company can generally they're consisted of quality, customer service, productivity, financials are examples. So those are kind of major pillars within a company, and every problem, goal, and objective will refer back to a pillar within the company. The next is you establish the goals. And the goals, basically, you look at what is the end result that you're trying to achieve. When you're looking at any type of strategy or solving a problem, you've identified a problem. What do you expect the outcome to look like? Then you have the objectives. And this is the how much by when. And they have to be measurable. You have to look, they must be SMART. They must be specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. So you identified your goals. Now you have your objectives. of, of, of how much and by when. The next level is actually the strategies. And this, you think of the strategies, this is the projects that will be associated with solving the problems. And you think about this as the projects that will help you literally move the needle on your objectives. And then you have where I like to call this where the rubber meets the road, and that's the tactics. And that is literally the assignments that you assign to complete the different tasks associated with the project. So literally, it is every aspect of solving the problem, the individual's tactics that you incorporate to solve the problem. So in essence, if you can solve all the tactics, all the projects associated with the problem, if you satisfy the tactics, you will satisfy the strategies. If you satisfy the strategies, you will meet your objectives, all the different measurables. If you meet your objectives, then you will achieve your goal. And if you achieved your goal, then you have addressed that problem within the pillar of the company. So I suggest if you would, take this and use it for any type of problem solving and or when you're writing your business plan of all the different objectives and goals that you may have. So with that, let's get back to the next element within the business plan, and that has to do with the market environment. So you look at designing, it's literally you define the business concept. What is your products and or services that you are going to provide to customers? You want to describe the industry, and that includes who your customers are. What are the needs of the customer? What's the size and potential growth of the market? The size of the customer base is truly important as you develop your business plan. You look at identifying your competitors. You look at their strengths and their weaknesses. It's to your advantage to know their strengths and weaknesses better than what your competitors know. Then you can actually look at the market focus and the market share. What is it that how can you fit your business model within your competitors? What's the niche that's out there that's going to make you unique? And then you help identify the relevant and uncontrolled factors such as economy, the technology changes. You look at the legal things that may develop from the legislation, whether state or federal, the demographics, how that can change as well. It's important to consider all that. And then your business focus and what will make you unique compared to your competitors. What is your niche that's going to draw customers away from your competitors? So now let's look at the market research. Within the market research, you want to look at who are your potential customers. What is the size of the potential market that's out there? Fundamentals like where can you reach them? Is it through the internet, storefront? Need to understand what the customer wants and or needs, or do you provide a product or service that they don't even know they need, and you can convince them that they need it? And you need to look at how do they behave? How do the customers behave overall? So again, you want to create your market position, your niche. Continuing with the actual market research, then you need to look at what we call geographic. What's the location of your business? Are you going to have a storefront, as an example? Where should that storefront be? You look at the demographics associated with where you want to do your business. It includes the age, the gender, the income, the educational levels of the people in the area. You even want to look at the psychographics of the population, the values, the lifestyle, the personality, the traits, the social groups that people are involved with. And then you want to look at the behavioral, which would consist of the purchasing behaviors. As an example, are the people within that area, the demographics in the location, are they brand loyal? Are they responsive to prices? Will they buy at I'll say like a Walmart versus a brand store front? So those are things that you need to keep in mind as you do your research. Now the next level is the marketing plan, and you look at the inside your business. You have the marketing strategy. You look at the identify your overall approach for success. You describe your competition, your strategy, and offerings. Again, where do you fit? Where can you strategically fit within the marketplace? And then identify your niche and then your advantages as a result of having that niche. Again, the target market, who's your customer? What is the end result that they want, need, or don't even know what they need, and you need to convince them that they need it. So we mentioned a little while ago that within the marketing plan, there's what they call the marketing mix, which basically they call the 4 Ps. And that 4 Ps is product, price, promotion, and place. So let's take just a moment to look at this in more details. So when it comes to products and or services, you really want to look at it from the customer's point of view. And when you're looking at it from the customer's point of view, you describe all your products and services from the eye of the customer. You look at the packaging. The packaging need to be bright. It can be generic. Also consider software support, again, in the eyes of the customer. There are many small businesses out there that have apps now that you can actually access the app, like maybe a restaurant, and you can actually order through the app and have it ready for you when you pick up. Or you can, I know a large chain like a McDonald's, you can order through the app, and you go to pick it up, and you already have it paid for, and they make it on the spot for you. A lot of advantages. You can actually provide sales promotions through the app, discounts through the app, as an example. So again, look at this stuff from the perspective of the customer. How will it benefit the customer?
John, a couple of questions.
Sure.
Well, Tatiana has asked that you go back to the last slide, but I'm not quite sure which slide she means. So, Tatiana, is it that slide? if you could just confirm that in the Q&A. And then Camilo has a question about where do I find the market info for research from a couple slides ago he mentioned.
Yeah. Actually, a good source is the local library. And they have resources that are available. I know within Stark County, I know up in Geauga, the main libraries, there are a tremendous source of getting data for market research. And you can just go and ask them what you're trying to do, and they'll guide you to the right location within the library to be able to help pull that information. And it's all done through different softwares that they may have that you and I may not be privy to, but they do have license to do the research.
And you
So
know, John,
I would start at the local library.
John, we just heard from Youngstown. They are interested in putting on a webinar on just that type of resource that they make available.
Great, good.
Yeah. Now, Tatiana said it's the slides showing the 4Ps.
Then product, price, promotion, in place. So we'll wrap this slide up. You also need to be cognizant of your suppliers. It's the fourth bullet down, and have backups to the supplier just in case. You know, we had lots of challenges during COVID, and if there's any type of interruption in the supply chain, a lot of times the customers don't care about that. But you need to care in order to make sure that your products and or services continue to flow. And you look at the post sales and service and policies. How are you going to react from a customer's perspective if there's any type of challenges or concerns from customers? Now, looking at price, the lowest price may not be the best way to go. It really depends on where you're trying to sell your products and service. Sometimes the perception of the lowest price may mean lower quality, and that may not be what you want to project. So you need to promote your value of your products and or service. What is it that you're providing for that price? So if you're providing a good overall product and or service with good policies in case there's an issue, follow up as well, then you may be able to justify a higher price. So to keep that in mind, lowest price is not always the good policy. You can, from a price perspective, again, you can create programs, package deals, combinations. I mentioned the app where you can actually do discounts through the apps. You can provide combinations. If you buy one product, you get another one at a discounted price. All types of creativity in order to draw people in and continue to buy your products and or service. So you look at, again, the after sales, the customer service associated with it, what type of warranties are associated with it, the refund policy, is a full refund, is there a restocking fee? What is it that you're going to provide to the customer? And then there's the price one involves with credit. Depending on the type of business that you're dealing with, you may want to stay away from credit to a customer. The best thing is to do is through cash or credit or debit card in order to keep that money flowing into your accounts receivable. Then there's the third P is the promotion. A lot of us are associated, of course, familiar with the social media, all types of advantages of social media platforms. You can have, I would recommend that your small business have a specific Facebook presence to promote your business. Keep it away from your personal Facebook. Make it your business. From the promotion, look at the advertising. You got the obviously the media. You got trade shows. You got catalogs. You got word of mouth through customer satisfaction, and there are magazines, newspapers, all types of opportunities to be able to promote your business. The continue with the communication is a communication program. There's both communications internal as well as external. It's within your employees as well as outside, trying to pull the customers in. Your employees are great ambassadors of your products and or service to try to get additional sales and repeat customers. And the awareness, the image, and the reputation of your business means a lot. You may want to have a graphic logo if you're in front of the customers, like whether you're a restaurant, as an example. You may want to have specific shirts with logos. Your letterheads should have your logo on it. Your Facebook, your emails that go out. Anytime you're communicating with the public or your customers, you should be consistent on your image. The ultimate goal is to get repeat customers. If without the repeat customers, then the probability of growth is not there. So keep that definitely in mind. So the last P is place. As they say, location, location, location. It's important to the customer, depending on your product and service. Is it someplace that the customer feels comfortable on driving towards and visiting? You want to have consistency on imaging. Does the storefront look good? Where are you compared to your competitor? I can't remember whether it's Rite Aid and CVS. I think CVS used to do all the market research, and Rite Aid would build a store across the street from them. So where are you in relationship to your competitors is something to keep in mind. You also want to consider all the different channels of distribution that are out there. You can sell direct, which includes retail outlets. You can what we call craft fairs, through catalogs, through email, marketing through e-commerce, through the home shopping network. Even small businesses nowadays are getting more and more involved with Amazon. You got eBay, and I'm sure there's other channels out there. One thing you want to definitely avoid is avoid what I call channel conflicts, and that can cause a bad reputation of your business. As an example, if you sell to one retail outlet at a lower price than another one, and you have that cost difference, and actually can create problems for you in the long run. Then you have the distributor and or wholesale. That's a different avenue. If you're going to sell instead of directly to the consumer through a distributor or through wholesale, and then you have the government and institutional sales. So you have to look at what type of customers are out there that you're going to be selling to. Now get back to the marketing plan. Within the marketing plans, now we have to look at the sales forecast. And this is where it really gets important to understand the financials within the business. You want to look at month by month on the projections of your sales. You want to do monthly, looking 2 years in the future, and then beyond that, you go quarterly because they really are just estimates. If you have historical sales, you definitely want it to include that. So you can use that to identify growing trends. And if you don't, because you're a startup, then you actually just have to use estimated forecasts based on your own research. So you definitely want to include assumptions within your forecast. You include assumptions because they're going to ask you if you don't. And so make sure whatever you assumed when you made your estimates, you do include those. So as just a reminder, SCORE does have templates that can help walk you through the forecast process. We have templates that can help you with your income statement, your balance sheet, as well as your cash flow. Now, looking at the operational plan, location is important depending on your business, whether you're going to have a storefront or not. If you're going to have a storefront, you need to look at where is it? Where's the building going to be? What type, what size? Got to look at the associated cost, the growth opportunity, what type of rental and or lease agreements that will be available. You need to look at accessibility. Is it going to be easy for the customers to get access to the store or restaurant or whatever? Can suppliers get the supplies to you? Can the support services employees get clean access to your facility? You have to consider things like parking, hours in which you're going to be open, which days of the week you'll be open as well. Need to even think about special requirements. Being in the Ohio area, you need to think about even snow removal. You need to look at zoning. You need to look at utilities such as internet capability, water, phone, all those requirements that are needed in order to support your business operations. Continue with the operating plan. Look at the professional advisory support. If you're a nonprofit, you'll definitely have a board of directors. For-profit companies, board of directors is not necessarily till you get up into you're a public entity. You want to look at the potential management advisory board because there are different groups out there that can help small businesses. They have made meetings on a quarterly basis to exchange concerns and ideas. You have to look at attorney. They have one available to help you through the process, an accountant to make sure your finances and what you're reporting to different government agencies are correct. Need to consider the insurance and of not only of your business, but your inventory and or customers that may come into your facility. Consider consultants if you feel that you need it, as well as mentors. And mentors can be, as an example, SCORE can be a mentor for you. Okay, looking at the financial plan. You want to look at when you're starting out with a business, you want to look at the total investment that's going to be required to open the doors. What is the initial cost? And SCORE does have spreadsheets that are available to help walk you through that process of things you need to think about when you're starting up a business. So please take advantage of that. You look at the potential operating losses, the cumulative operating losses. A lot of times people forget that you're not going to be making money right off the bat. You have to get that customer base in place, and as that customer base builds, then you'll start to make a profit. So you have to account for losses in the startup phase of your business. Typically, should have a contingency fund that that value is really subjective based on your business. But a lot of times when you have a business like a restaurant or a business that might be cyclical, you have generally a 20% minimum buffer to help you through the ups and downs of your business. And look at the capitalization. You need to look at the proposed sources and investment amounts. Where are the investments coming from? Are they coming from you, your family, your friends? And then do you need to actually go out and get additional monies from a lending institution? There are banks out there, of course, that can do it. There's also Small Business Association, SBA also has loan capabilities. So you can, again, make use of the startup tools that are available at SCORE, and all that is free of charge. Now, looking at the financial requirements still, part of the requirements that you'll need is to be able to provide a profit and loss P&L statement. It is also commonly referred to as an income statement, and both of those are synonymous with each other. So you're going to want a profit and loss or income statement going out 3 years. You want 2 years of it looking at a monthly basis, and as I mentioned before, in the third year, you want to look at it on a quarterly basis. You want to look at the cash flow forecast. Are you going to have enough cash available to pay the bills? Really important. The next one is the projected balance sheet. You want to look at your assets and versus your liabilities in owner's equity. They've got a balance, or you'll be in some difficulty. You want to actually look then at the break-even point. Where is it within your model that you'll break even? Is it a number of months? Is it a number of years? And what is literally your payback calculation to your investors? Again, SCORE has templates available. Keep pushing that. Take advantage of it. The next thing I want to talk about is cash flow, and cash is so important within a small business, whether you're starting up or whether you're a mature business, profit or nonprofit. Cash is king. Without cash, you'll go out of business. In the past, I've dealt with some businesses that on the income statement looked very well, but they ended up going broke because they didn't have enough cash. So common things that will affect cash. Accounts receivable. It could be that the terms are too long. As an example with that is that you set the terms out for payment as what they commonly refer to as like net 30. They pay it back in 30 days. With me, as an example, when I was running the distribution center in Bucyrus, I had a number of small businesses within the community that I depended on, and they actually depended on Timken as well. So Timken had a policy of paying vendors net 30, which means they don't get paid for 30 days. That can really hurt a small business. So I would actually negotiate with the local small businesses to come up with a reasonable term in order to keep their cash moving. Because the last thing I wanted is a small business to go out of business, especially if I truly needed them. So if you're a small business that happens to be dealing with a larger company, do not hesitate to challenge them and negotiate terms of payment. If they have I've been involved with companies that have a net 45. For small businesses, that can literally cripple you. So don't hesitate. Another issue in accounts receivables is bad risk. It could be that the customers just aren't paying on time, or they may not be paying it at all. So, in the small business perspective, if possible, you want paid in cash. If they can't be cash, then potentially a debit card. If another alternative is a credit card, but just be cognizant of, and I'm sure all of you are aware, credit card companies charge you. It could be up to 3.5%. So I've noticed that a lot of small businesses around my area are taking a different approach. That if you pay in cash, there's one value. If you pay with a credit card, they tack on an extra 3.5%. And that way, that 3.5% doesn't come out of the profits of the business. So something to keep in mind. Also, another failure is the gross profit margin is too low. So gross profit is really equal to the total revenue minus the total cost of goods sold. So what the monies you're bringing in versus the cost of those goods. So either you're not charging enough for goods or services, or the costs of goods are too high. So you can either address it from the revenue, increase prices. Sometimes that's not practical because of competition. If that's not practical, then you got to look at the cost of goods sold. And where is it within that area of cost of goods sold can you reduce the overall costs?
John?
Another area, yes.
Excuse me, few questions. Is this a good time or?
Sure, go ahead.
Okay. From Latisse, is the profit and loss a projected statement? Is the P&L projected? Is the P&L a projected statement?
Yes. Yes, it goes out 3 years. 2 years by month, third year by quarter. Yes.
Okay, and then Latisse corrected herself. She said, "Is it a projected statement if you are a startup?"
Yes. It's all based on forecasts. So when you're doing a startup, you are making projections on your revenue and your costs. All that turns into will turn into an income statement. And I'm going to promote this one more time. SCORE has an Excel template that you could actually input all the associated startup costs, your estimated cost of goods that in the sales price, and it will extrapolate out and create an income statement and balance sheet, cash flow statement, and break even by month. So yes, it's by month.
Okay, here's another question. Are there organizations who will write the business plan for your business? This is from Sheila.
I'm not sure how to answer it. I'm sure you can go out and Google that there are people that will write them for you. I wouldn't necessarily recommend that because it's got to come from you. Because in order for to write a business plan, they're going to have to literally pick your brain on everything that needs to go into a business plan. They typically can't do the financials unless you provide the data to do that. So it is best if I mentioned early on, take advantage of AI and have it help walk you through the process, but make sure you make it your own and include within the AI parameters all the details that you can think of. And the more details that you can put in, the more accurate the results will be from the AI.
Final question. What's the net 45?
Net 45 basically means that I'll use my company as an example, that they will pay the vendor in 45 days, which means the net means they'll pay the total value. Some companies will say uh, uh, 15 net 30. In some cases, that means that they'll give them a discount of X percent and the balance is due in 30. I think it's like 2%, 10, net 30. So you get 2% discount if you pay within 10, the balance is due in 30. So if it's just net 30, that means the entire bill needs to be paid in 30 days.
One more question, John.
Mhm.
This is from Letice, and she said, you mentioned advisory boards. First, would these be specific to your industry, and how can you find them?
Yeah, great question. It doesn't necessarily have to be unique to you. I know in the from a personal perspective, my brother owned a small business, and he was involved with an advisory board. I think it was located in Cleveland, and he lived in Canton. Um, you could actually go out and Google it, and you can more likely find these opportunities out there where people, the small businesses, actually get together and they discuss problems, challenges, and they collaborate together to help solve the problems. I don't know specifically where to find them other than to go out and research, but they do exist. Anything else?
Yes, that's all that I see.
Okay. Um, okay, I'm really close to the end, so I think I'm running a little bit over time or getting close to the end, so bear with me. So the last portion then of the business plan is the appendices, and that's just really the support data. I won't go through them all. Again, it's just you can include any type of support that the data that a bank may be interested in seeing greater details, and or you have that information available in case they ask a question. Now, the last area is measuring the results within the business plan. Um, typically, you want what I refer to as a balanced scorecard. You want to look at the different pillars within your company, which I mentioned earlier, which typically involves service, quality, safety, productivity, and finance. And typically, uh, uh, literally, you can carry it on a tablet or your smartphone, all these potential different parameters that you want to look at. One of the things I do want to interject at this point is that, and it's not documented here, but in my business career, I had two problem-solving sayings that I would use. And if you have a pencil and pen or something you can write these down, feel free. The first one is that you cannot fix what you do not measure. And that gets back to the SMART goals and objectives. You cannot fix what you do not measure. And the second one is you cannot track what you do not measure. They're very similar to each other. So you cannot fix what you do not measure. You cannot track what you do not measure. So that's a tool that I always use to make sure that I was following the different goals and objectives within the business plan. So the thing that in order to follow up on a business plan, it's called key performance indicators, or KPIs for short. A lot of times I would keep KPIs that I would reference on a daily basis. Some KPIs were on a weekly basis. Some different KPIs are on a monthly, and even some of them are on a quarterly basis. So it really depends on the KPI and what you are focused on. As an example, on a daily basis, I would look at productivity. I would look at on-time customer service every day, religiously. Also, I would look at safety, make sure we didn't have any lost time accidents, anybody who was injured. On a quarterly basis, it gets more macro. You look at the overall financials for the operations as a whole, as an example. Typically, you definitely want to be consistent on your measurements. Also, you want, wherever possible, provide visuals. I would have electronic boards out in my facility that would update them on safety, on productivity as a plant, as an example, and that would be updated on a daily basis. So whatever you can do to help you through the process of making sure that you're accomplishing your goals and objectives that you've outlined in your business plan, you should measure those in the form of KPIs. And in some cases, especially when it comes to problem solving, they indicate those 5 levels of problem solving. You can use the KPIs to make sure that that problem stays in control. And if you identify the different tactics and which satisfies the strategies, you develop the KPIs and measure the objectives and the goals. Once that problem becomes in control and it stays in control within a designated amount of time, you can throw out that KPI. Don't measure anymore because it's in control. And then you can focus on another problem and develop a KPI for that to make sure you can get that problem in line. So in summary, the business plan will provide sustainability over a period of time. A business plan sends a message to investors, to advisors, and stakeholders that you are serious about your business. A business plan minimizes the risk and aids in the healthier organization. AI can be a useful tool, but make the business plan your own. And you can utilize score.org. We got templates out there for business plans, for the financials, for the startups, for cash flow templates, and also take advantage of any type of website out there that has business plans that are already written that can help you with the ideas and the concept of how to write a business plan. So with that, that's it. I really appreciate your patience. We've run over just a little bit, but if there's any questions.
Does SCORE offer a KPI tool?
No, but it's a good idea. Why don't you reach out to SCORE, and we can help you with the development of KPIs.
I think that's it, John.
Perfect. Well, I appreciate everybody taking time out of their busy day to listen to me. Again, this is being recorded, so you can listen to it again. You will be receiving a copy of the PowerPoint as well. So again, thank you. Have a great rest of your day.